I'm coming. Where are you?
Got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Critical Drinker, I guess. Maybe was he right? You guys, let's see what he said.
He's always right. You know,
he said something that just kind of rings true. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just find this download here. He said, because of this incident, this whole thing, they announced Star Trek Strange New Worlds, speaking of Paramount Plus, is going to be doing a puppet episode.
Right.
Pike looks great as a puppet. He looks great in general, but he looks great as a puppet.
The hair, the floofy hair
guys,
is great.
I've been you guys know I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I talk about this stuff all the time. It's always been super serious. There's never been a comedy episode of Star Trek. So this is just, the fuck are they doing? I mean, it's always been this gritty, dark, adult sci-fi show. Like, so gritty.
Yeah. I mean, he's right. Look, Critical Drinker, he knows what he's talking about when it comes to Star Trek, especially.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what else to say. He's just right. Also, you know.
I am sorry, counselor.
No, don't. No, no, Dana!
Gritty sci-fi. Right in the nipples.
You go down.
That is kind of freaky. I'll give it that.
That is kind of terrifying, yeah.
Y'all must be mistaken.
Y'all must be mistaken.
I mean, pretty much any holodeck episode has comedy in it.
Yeah.
Come cheer up, my lads, 'tis to glory we steer, to find something.
That was Alien, by the way. Alien.
I'm sorry, Q just like laying there in his little Outback gear.
Yeah. I
You're 6 years old.
Vamoose, you little varmint.
I am not a merry man.
Holodeck episode.
Yep.
I'm coming.
Not a holodeck episode. That's the infamous, I think, what is it? The ghost sex bottle?
Yeah, it is.
Candle or whatever.
No, that is not that one. That is Night Terrors. Night Terrors are actually decent.
Oh,
The
you're
choice
right.
of
Yeah.
these-
Night Terrors is a different one.
The ghost sex one is
That's about the doctor.
that's really
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What about this one, though?
It is the way in which we propagate our species.
I'm sorry. Best Star Trek death ever.
So.
Oh, anything with Q is pretty much comedy.
Yeah.
Remember how dark and gritty it was when like I want to say Picard, Rogue, Guinan, and I think Keiko got turned into kids. That was really dark and gritty.
Yeah.
You know, the truth is that I believe.
You home again, Kathleen.
The explosive. Very well, Captain.
Who wants to counteract paradise, Jim boy?
They talk about this, and I would absolutely argue before Lower Decks, the funniest Star Trek series is without doubt the original series.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
There is so much goofy shit in that one.
But the one that got the most criticism for being adult and dark and serious was Deep Space Nine. And a lot of people said that's the reason why they didn't like that one, because it was too serious, because it dealt with a lot of serious subject matter.
By the way, that one has a lot of great comedy episodes too.
Oh, it does.
But
I think that was one of the big criticisms I heard, was that people didn't like it because it was too serious. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. I think it's one of the best Star Trek series as a whole, like from start to finish.
It's my all-time favorite.
There's the season. There's the episode. I think maybe a two-parter. I don't remember. Maybe just one. I think in the final season where, one of the, I don't know if it's a Wei Yun or one of those other guys. They fucking his type of alien. I forget what they're called. They kidnap Quark's mother.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
Is that the one where she has to be naked or something like that? I think she's naked because of the tradition.
No.
But it is like a perfect balance of comedy and serious. Like, it's genuinely a great Ferengi episode, because they're like fucking goofs, of course. And
I
forget
what the name of the episode is.
Until they finally get their shit together. And
Ferengi, they have to actually they have to face the Dominion, but they figure out how to face them as Ferengi, and it's right. It's great.
That was man. Speaking of good writing and a lot of it being on DS9, I guess we can dip into some SDCC news. Fucking Ronald D. Moore doing a God of War show.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's gonna be awesome.
on the Bezos platform. Looking forward to that. Somebody got a $2 super chat here, £2 or whatever, €2. Gritty like Man of Steel. Yeah, they want that, right?
Yeah. Superman's supposed to be gritty, right?
Yes. So, you know, I mean, look, I have a lot of clips here, guys. I could continue this fucking, you know, this bit.
I mean, you can do it for every. You can do it for every series. You can do one of these for every series.
So right, he's never been a serious sci-fi show. I mean, it's always been such a serious show for adults and stuff. But like, you know, fuck him. He's a fucking liar. That's all.
Well, I mean, what's to say this isn't going to be a serious episode? I mean, the thing could be that the humor is in the juxtaposition of the puppets, and
possibly.
You know what I mean? We don't know. We have no idea.
I mean, you know, it'd be one thing if this was the first time that even this series was doing something silly, but they've already done a musical, which they went after that one, of course, and they've done a crossover with Lower Decks, which was excellent, actually.
Yeah, I really like that one. The musical was, but the crossover with Lower Decks was excellent.
Yeah, and then you know, some people fucking love puppets, man. Like, you know, right? Who doesn't?
Yeah, I mean. Like a lot of the serious Star Trek shows, like you already mentioned, Deep Space Nine has comedy episodes. They all have comedy episodes. I would still argue probably the funniest thing in Star Trek would probably be a supercut of some of William Shatner's performances, because that is, oh my god, sometimes when he overacts is comedy gold.
I also thought that these guys liked Strange New Worlds because it wasn't woke. Wasn't that their thing originally? Was it the show was a non-woke modern Star Trek show?
I think we all can tell that they are desperate for something to latch onto right now.
I mean, if we want to talk about dark Star Trek, I would actually argue probably the darkest ones with the least comedy would probably be Discovery and Picard.
Yes.
And I thought those shows were terrible and woke.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that Discovery specifically had a lot of, like, it got lighter as the show went on, but it started out very dark.
Oh yeah, the first season of Discovery is grimdark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan, what's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, everyone. Sorry, I didn't get the memo.
Oh, the hat brigade.
Yeah.
Well, you're on the team now. That's all that matters.
Yeah, what's funny about this is the times when Star Trek is goofy, obviously it's there. The times when it's serious is generally when it's tackling the sort of social issues that the critical drinker says shouldn't be in TV or film.
That's true.
True.
But also, here's the thing. It's Dick.
That was a super gritty episode. What are you talking about?
I mean, it's a gritty looking dick, that's for sure.
I think that's the one where Bones has the famous line, "I'm a doctor, Jim, not a bricklayer."
Kirk was given the mission to find the worst dildo ever, and he found it.
Look, the original series. This is an alien, non-humanoid alien from the planet. I think it was Alpha 177.
Oh,
yes, Enemy Within. Oh my god, that one features some of Kirk's greatest moments.
Is that the one where it's like, I am Captain Kirk?
Yes, it is.
But look, this is not anything like just a dog with a fucking shitty costume and a horn.
No.
That's not all what is happening here.
I mean, the original Star Trek was sort of designed to be like a stage play anyway. Yeah. So the campiness of it is just ingrained in the source of materials of Star Trek, you know?
And if anything, I will grant, I'm not granting critical drinker shit, but I will grant that there is a bit of a bit more of a step in, I guess, in willingness to give good faith to what they're trying to do with the puppet thing, I'll say, because the Next Generation and even Deep Space Nine still had somewhat one foot in that stage show kind of production, right? And then as you get to more modern Trek is when it becomes more cinematic, and it's like, you know, there's
I mean, they just tried to raise the quality of the show to try to make it more of like a modern sci-fi series, the legacy of Star Trek. I mean, progressively Star Trek has gotten more and more polished over time in terms of the way it looks. Even if you don't like the storylines and stuff that we got in some of the more recent versions of it, definitely more polished.
Yeah. Remember when
that
Spock
dog
and
grown
Kirk
up?
were attacked by this thing?
That looks like the grown-up version of that dog.
Definitely not dude in a
Everything
costume.
has a horn on
Definitely
its
not.
Yeah, put a horn on it.
Horns on the head. Like
No, I mean, do you guys know why the Klingons were the main antagonists in the original series?
No, the original the original before it was canceled series.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
They were chosen to be the main antagonists because of light makeup work.
Oh, yeah.
Even the
Because
Romulans
they look
already
different.
introduced
Yeah, the
were
original
too
series they
much.
look
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's canonical reason for that though. They don't talk about it, but you know.
Well, the funny thing is, there's been 3 different like looks for the Klingons over the years now because
Yes.
of the Discovery. So
Yeah. Let's see. So, by the way, thank you, Super Jones Bros, for the super chat. I'm not sure whose channel that goes to. We'll get to this super chat whenever we get to that topic.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that in advance, though. Yeah, you know, there's tribbles, there's fucking dogs in costumes, there's guys in really crappy, you know, makeup that doesn't look good in high res. You know, there's all kinds
There's
of
the
shit
Next
that just-
Generation crew literally doing Robin Hood. There's
Yeah.
Data in drag in the Old West. There's just so much comedy in Star Trek. It's ridiculous.
All right, fuck off, Critical Drinker. Dude. Jesus Christ.
I mean, when these guys get offended by Star Trek being comedy, it's like you guys are showing that you know nothing about Star Trek.
Transporter breakdown, sir. Continue circuit testing. We beamed up this animal.
Richelieu, beware!
So, first of all, that wasn't even really the discussion. Not sure what guest you're referring to because we're all just kind of, you know, co-hosts here.
Assume me, because I think I was the
No, he's co-host. So we weren't talking about the audience rejecting anything because the thing we were talking about hasn't come out yet, and it's actually Strange New Worlds is a very popular Star Trek show. Also, to think that ethics and politics are somehow just separate things is really, really dumb. It can be argued that politics is actually the civics application of ethics, and you know, so like the thing that happened here, the thing that you're missing, the thing that you're not getting, is that if you are rejecting Star Trek because it's political, that's because you have been cowed into believing that politics should not have ethical considerations, and that you are part of a political movement, or at least you know, it appeals to you, this political movement that actually eschews ethical consideration in many regards.
So
specifically to that point. Sorry,
I'm just trying to understand the politics of a picture of a Pike puppet.
Well,
yeah.
But specifically though, to address that point of it being ethical, not it was an ethical decision in Star Trek, the original, the original series, when they tackled racism. But when they did the Kirk Uhura kiss, or when they did the episode with Frank Gorshin and the color split, what they were addressing there was racism, and they knew that by showing Kirk kiss Uhura, that their show would not be broadcast in certain states in the US,
and it wasn't.
And that decision was political.
Mm-hmm.
The decision to make a show where they knew that they wouldn't be able to broadcast in certain territories because of the political decisions being made in those states, that was a political decision as well as an ethical one. It's as simple as that, really. How can you separate the politics and the ethics between that particular issue of the interracial kids?
In fact, you honestly make me realize this. It's pretty simple when you cut through it, that MAGA and the conservatism in general, their entire propaganda machine is designed to make people, at least intellectually, separate the concept of ethics and morals versus politics, and to think that these things are somehow at odds. When what it's done is it's created a party, a movement, a wing of political influence that is without ethics. And in fact, you know, we're still waiting on them to you know, release the fucking Pedonomicon, man. You know?
Yeah, this is fascinating.
There's a comment from Evenflow 406, which actually is a reasonable question. The kiss was forced in order to try to get around the issue of the interracial kiss. The reason it had to be.
It's also worth saying, like, literally in the script of the story, it is forced. They're being controlled by these two guys who telepathically control their actions.
Yeah, and the reason it was written that way is so not to cause scandal in even more places than it did cause scandal. That's why.
So all the white dudes that idolized Kirk wouldn't go, well, Kirk wouldn't do that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was for all those people that did get to see it to have a get at all those racists that did see it to say, well, he didn't actually really want to do it. Whereas actually, yes.
And speaking of Star Trek always being serious, since we're back on it, I did pull up this clip. I was thinking we could wrap up on it, but we can watch it right now because this is Star Trek. Kirk giving a very serious performance.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
He got so
For me,
angry,
that's
his
just
costume
classic fucking
changed his
over
clothes, yeah.
William Shatner overacting. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I did,
guys,
so serious, guys. So
I did want to weigh in on that comment just because I thought it was so interesting. I mean, you guys already said most of it, but it's interesting to say that like the word messaging is doing a lot of heavy lifting there because it inherently weights the comment with the idea that there's something forced about it or that there's some sort of intent to be like changing people's values through media in the way that like people who think that like, you know, some people think that like if you play a Beatles record backwards, you can hear Satan trying to bewitch you, you know, like it's that's just a very weird way to talk about media, to like load it with that language, but also like, you know, the idea that like the meaning instead of the messaging, you know, the meaning or the content of Star Trek wasn't political. I was always more of a Next Generation and DS9 person, but like,
true, yeah.
What do you think the Ferengi were? Like,
yeah,
that's in DS9. That stuff is all economics and gender, and even the shallow version of them that's in Next Generation is like all gender politics. You know,
Yeah.
I just don't get this. Like, that's not true.
I mean, in Deep Space Nine, the writers were very open about the fact that they were using the Ferengi to critique our system of capitalism, very openly about that. And when you watch the episodes, it's very obvious that's what they're doing.
Well, also like the whole the best DS9 episode, my opinion, obviously personal opinion, but the a duet, the one with the filing clerk Maritza.
It's in my top 10.
To be, he's pretending to be the genocidaire leader of the occupation, and like that whole like the series of exchanges that they have in those scenes is like so like poetic and deeply political. It's about politics and genocide and war, and it's just like it's like all politics, you know, like it's just crazy. I don't understand.
To act like other story, you want to take any classic story that's not even like televised or video media, like let's say I don't know, some George Orwell or something. That was politics, that was agenda free, right? No, he was trying to present a vision of a future that he felt like would be in some cases ideal, in some cases not. You know, that's the same thing. It's so fucking bizarre to me. It always has been to say that some kind of messaging is forced because it shows us either an ideal or opposite of an ideal in media. Like that is what it is essentially. I'd say most fiction narratives contain some element of that.
Yeah, well, it's you never hear this when people talk about like the Christian influences in like Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. Nobody's ever like, oh, he was forcing a message about how God is this or that. What a fucking stupid way to talk about media. You know, like
it really is, and it's been successful. That's what's so frustrating. It's been very successful in our modern culture to get a lot of people to think very stupidly about media. It's very frustrating, but you know, maybe we'll turn a corner someday.
Sorry, I got a little bit of the fire in that one.
No, it's all good. Like, yeah, that was a good one. I mean, it was made for one reason, and it kind of reads a little bit differently in hindsight. But you know,
oh yeah, Measure of a Man, even flow.
That's Measure of a Man is, in my opinion, the first great TNG episode.
Yeah, truly.
Trying to find
and really, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to add on to the Measure of a Man being like also kind of one of Picard's first, you know, like, oh, that's Picard. You know what I mean? Kind of episodes as well. Not just the series, but just Picard as well.
I was going to say that I posted it to us a couple of weeks ago, a clip of Graham Chapman reviewing the TV series MASH. And he's got a great quote in that where he says, because two of them like it, it's basically like a panel review show, and he and another guy likes it and one guy doesn't, and the other guy says he doesn't think it's anti-war, that it's written to be anti-war. And Graham Chapman's response to that is that I know that writers do try to get their own points of view into shows, otherwise there's no point in being a writer. And I think that just pretty much sums up the idea that people weren't trying to, this stupid concept that, it's only recently that they made things political. No, writers have always tried to put their own point of view in.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's, you know, somebody in the chat brings up Narnia, you know, and that's another great kind of a more like kind of heavily kind of Christian coded like story. Like there's Saint Nicholas is in it. Aslan is obviously, like, he even does like a kind of like Christ style martyrdom in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, if you read like The Magician's Nephew, that's a little bit more, I think, away from like the direct allegory stuff. But you know, there's like I loved those books when I was a kid, and I just feel like, as somebody who's like very critical of religion and Christianity and like my own Christian upbringing, and is very left wing, to follow in the way that people have been drawing lines over these forms of media, I, by their logic, should be against that stuff. I should be like attacking it, but I don't, you know. I can be critical. I can be like, well, here's something that I think works, or here's how this makes me feel. But that's
still valuing,
you know, it's not the same thing as like trying to like get people to reject something because it's like putting like radio waves in their brain that's going to make them gay. You know, this is very silly. And I think Ryan hit it on the head with the idea that like all writers have like perspectives and ideas that are informing their work. It's so true. I mean, George R.R. Martin is a great example of a living writer who is like that, because he's thinking a lot about like medieval history when he's writing, and kind of translating ideas from history to fantasy and that kind of thing.
I think that's also why some of these right-wing grifters who tries to be writers have failed, because people like Ben Shapiro haven't really got anything to say. They have no perspective that they can put into their work and craft a good story. Or
they're motivated by a rejection of what they see as an assault on their ideology or their viewpoints or whatever, when it's not really what's happening. You know, so that's why
sorry, go on.
It just comes across as empty because of that. Because like they think they're rebelling against some effort against what media has always been, when they don't understand what media has always been. Right. So like that makes it just come off as hollow. Isom, anything from your purse?
Well, I think an even better example is probably The Critical Drinker. Is probably the perfect example. His books have literally nothing to say. He doesn't take a political stand, and he's writing political thrillers. He wants to be Tom Clancy, but I mean, even
Tom Clancy's had some hot takes now and then, you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that's why his books and his film were so hollow. That's because he wants to make a shooty action film. Ultimately, he wants to make a film like the ones he loved as a kid, but he doesn't realize that all they had writers giving their perspective and injecting their own message into it. It's just he's too stupid to realize it now, and was probably too young to understand it then.